Hey everyone, Dave Guerra here. Welcome back. I am This Vet and This Vet Cooks. Welcome to another exciting episode of This Vet Cooks. Today, what are we doing? Well, we're doing beer braised meatballs. That's right out of that book, wherever that book happens to be. So that's it. It's coming out of that book. It's another recipe from that book, and excited for it. This is going to make the recipe I'm going to do. Makes about 20 meatballs. Takes about 30-40 minutes to make. And it's beer braised, so you know the sauce is going to have beer in it. It does say use a light beer, but not light from that company. No, not LITE, but an actual light color where you can almost see through it. Okay, that kind of light beer, light colored beer. I'm going to use a local beer, a local Texas beer. It's the Local Buzz Honey-Rye Golden Ale from the Four Corners Brewing Company out of Dallas, Texas. So shout out to the Four Corners Brewing Company out of Dallas, Texas. We're going to cook with this. I'll let you know how this turns out. So that's the beer that we're using today. Alrighty, what are the other ingredients? Some brown sugar, packed, half a cup of brown sugar. A cup of ketchup, or ketchup. Half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Some breadcrumbs, homemade breadcrumbs. Folks, if you're not making your own homemade breadcrumbs, you know you suck, really, because you should be. You're throwing it away. Save that bread, those ends, especially the French bread loaf. Awesome. Tomato sauce, a cup and a half of tomato sauce, onion, couple of cloves of garlic, and about a pound and a half of a pound of ground beef. And of course, then we also need some tomato paste. So thank you to Mrs. This Vet Cooks for showing me the light here and letting me know what I forgot. So we're going to put all of these ingredients. We're going to make two separate things. We're going to put all the dry ingredients with the meat, and all the wet ingredients, that's going to be braising in a Dutch oven. That's the sauce that's going to go into Dutch oven. So first thing is we're going to mix them all up, and then we're going to separate them into two sections, the bowl with the ground beef, and then we're going to create the other content in the bowl. So, you know what? It's time to get started. Alrighty, so forgot one thing. We definitely need 2 of these. Yep, lightly beaten. Though, you know, I'm going to beat them, and it's only going to be lightly, so no need to call the authorities. Lightly beat the 2 eggs. Because again, ultimately it's going to end up in with the dry mix and with the meat. There we go. No need to add water because we're not making an omelet. So I'm going to get this into some form. There we go. We're in camera 2. You should see it's still got some little bit of the whites in there. So that's that. Alrighty. Alright, so we chopped up the onions, pounded the crap out of the garlic, and now we're ready to go. So we have our half cups of everything, basically. Pound of ground beef and a half a cup of breadcrumbs. And I said, if you're not doing your own breadcrumbs, you're missing out. And okay, so we have the half cup of that. Then we have the half cup of Parmesan cheese. And you know, it doesn't matter what it is, Parmigiano Reggiano, Leguizamo, it doesn't matter. it's cheese, and it's Parmesan cheese, and that's it. So again, I just used what was in the little plastic container, and that's all that matters. You don't have to get all fancy. All right, next is our 2 eggs. Our 2 eggs, remember, they were lightly beaten, so there's no need to call the authorities when you lightly beat the eggs. There we go. There we go. And who would you call? Well, you call the CIA, the Culinary Institute of America. Hello. So there's that. And then our third of a cup of onions, and the 2 cloves of garlic. There that is. All right, so we got that. And it also said salt and pepper, so you want to salt and pepper to taste. So you want to do a little generous amount because you've got a lot of onion. It's going to draw out that liquid. You got some eggs. Well, that's all liquid. You got the meat. That should be enough. Yeah, that's enough. And then, of course, our own black pepper that we're going to grind up here. That's quite a bit. But then we pop off the lid. And that's going to be nice because it's going to give you a little extra bite. Why? Because the different size of the cracked corn there, the peppercorn. So there we go. Oh, that smells nice. And again, if you're in that situation, well, now the recipe says stir to blend. Stir to blend. I guess we need to stir it with something, but we're going in hands first. Let's go. And again, you don't need to get both hands, but you know, that's the old-fashioned way, this whole stir to blend. What the hell is that? Anyway, so listen, while I'm doing this, I want to thank everybody that watches and subscribed and is on the Facebook. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for your comments. I do appreciate everyone's comments. Do appreciate everybody watching the show on the YouTube. Again, following us on Twitter. That's at Twitter. That's at twitter.com/@thisvetcooks. And let's see, on Instagram, we are ramping up stuff there on Instagram. So it's instagram.com, again, thisvetcooks. The address on the YouTube page, well, that's kind of long. So it's on the show notes here. By all means, follow along. And when you click on to watch the video, it does take you to the YouTube page. So again, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, comment, visit the website. That's www.thisvetcooks.com. And let's get going here. I think I've got it about as much mixed up as it's going to get. Maybe a little extra work, but I think we've got it. And there we go. Oh man, it's going to be a nice meatloaf already. Now, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take this out. We're going to scoop them because it says to make, you know, the meatballs, but we're going to use the ice cream baller or the melon. That's not a melon baller. It's an ice cream scoop. It is a melon baller? No, it's an ice cream scoop. Okay. And so we're going to use that. Plop them over here on the tray. Then we're going to get them baking. While that's baking, then we're going to start on the wet stuff, what we're going to put into the Dutch oven. So let me give this a little going over a little bit more. It's got a little, all the stuff off the sides come off. We got some big chunks of onions, little pieces of onions. And again, it's up to you. There's nothing that says it has to be. That's just the recipe. It's a guide. Okay. So that being said, let me get my hands cleaned up and let's get going with the next part. Alrighty, folks. Now we're gonna scoop here from the bowl where we just mixed all the meat and all the dry ingredients and the 2 eggs. So not so dry ingredients. And again, there it is, just like that, real simple. Scoop and plop. That's it, nothing fancy. You might want to pack it in just a little tighter, but again, if you don't, that's okay. That's plenty good size right there. And there we go. What have we got? Oh, we got crumbs everywhere. We got crummy. Okay. Now again, don't worry about the spacing. They're going to cook down. They will be. There we go. They're going to cook down, and once they cook down, then you should have no problem, because this is not the final destination. Golly, so much for not getting dirty. Am I going to have room here? All right, folks, well, there we go. That's what it looks like. It's here on camera too. Yeah, there it is. And we had to kind of work them because I was running out of space. They were a little too, well, they were a little too weird, a little too funky, but we ended up, even though the recipe said 20, that's if we had used a bigger scoop. 10, 20, we ended up making 30. We ended up making 30, so not too shabby. That's going to be fun, a lot of fun. So now we're going to get these bad boys in the oven for about 450 degree oven, I think is what it said. 400 degree oven. Got to get up to 400 degrees, and then it's going to sit in there for about 10 minutes or until brown. 10 minutes or until brown. So let's get it in the oven so now we can begin working on our wet ingredients. All right, so we've got the meatballs in the oven, 400 degrees, about 10 minutes. But because we have so many, it might be a little bit longer. So just kind of watch it. You know your oven better than I do, so you deal with that. All right, so what's next? Now we're going to get our ingredients. Well, the first ingredient in the wet ingredients is our local buzz from the Four Corners Brewing Company. It's a Honey-Rye Golden Ale. Folks, oh yeah, there we go. That's it. That's the beauty right there. And guess what? It's one of those wide mouth ones. Awesome. Check it out here. See, it's wide mouth. Alrighty, so here we go. It asks for all 12 ounces. What a shame, no leftovers. But there we go, all 12 ounces in the Dutch oven on our 1 burner plate here. I'm telling you folks, greatest investment we've ever made, I've ever made, is right here on this thing right here, because it's fast, it cooks fast, it's fantastic, it's awesome. I'll get this out of the way. Those of you that asked, that's the unit I serve with right there, one of the units I serve with. One of the greatest units of all time in the history of the United States Army, in the history of the United States Armed Forces. That's it. Alrighty, so that's the first thing. Then the next thing it says is add the tomato sauce. Well, the tomato sauce was 1.5 cups of tomato sauce, and we've already taken it out of the, and let's pour it in here. Oh, it smells fantastic. The beer, it's getting up to temperature. So it's kind of hard to say because the way, you know, the fizz, the carbonation starts going when it hits that metal pan. Is it boiling already? No, it's not boiling. Okay, now it's boiling. Whoa. Got to get that stir in there. I don't know if you saw that. Camera 2 had it. I guess we'll show it on the show. All right, so we have that. Then the next thing is the ketchup. And the ketchup is over here. Here it is. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. So it's a lot of red, it's going to be a lot of juice. We were talking off camera here what we could serve with this with. Now, why the meatballs? Well, here in the United States, football season is kicked off. And again, this is classified as an appetizer, so it's all in itself, by itself, a fantastic dish. But you can serve it as a meal, add a couple of other things, anything to soak up the sauce. So you could do a, that smells awesome, it tastes great. And it's just plain ketchup, nothing fancy. You can do a macaroni and cheese with this, you know, the meatballs, macaroni and cheese on the side, or mashed potatoes, those instant mashed potatoes, or if you want to go out and boil the spuds and do it all yourself, by all means, or white rice, plain white rice. Again, whatever works for you, or, you know, possibly you could even do rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat. And I want to know why it's called the San Francisco treat. Alrighty, next, the tomato paste, and that was 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, so you're going to leave an open can. That's really thick. That is a lot of tomato in this dish, I'll tell you that much. But man, that beer, as it's cooking, I think I made a wise choice with the honey, the pale honey, the golden pale honey there, beer, the rye, the Honey-Rye beer. So, again, why the meatballs? As I said, it's an appetizer thing. I love apps. I love appetizers. I mean, you know, I can go for really any kind of appetizer, from nachos all the way to mini sliders, mini burgers, whatever works for you. Hoagies, grinders, but we covered that on a different show. Appetizers, and it's football season, so yeah, you just want to plop yourself down. It's been a long, busy, trying week. and you want to plop yourself down, watch some football, and just pop these in. Again, these can be prepped the night before. No big deal there. Now we add the brown sugar. So it's going to be very sweet because already the ketchup is sweet. The tomatoes themselves are naturally sweet. So you're going to have all of that sweetness in there. So there we go. Now we're going to bring, and it says to bring it to a boil. Let's get this all stirred, and then we'll bring it to a boil here in just a second. And then, so obviously the next thing we do is we add the meatballs once they're done cooking, once we see that they've reached that brown, and then we add them in there for 20 to 30 minutes, and just like all that's happening is all those juices are getting happy with each other, and it's all flowing. So I think that's enough stir for now. And okay, folks. All right, there we go. All right, everybody. So there we go. It's come to a boil now. I brought it back down, and our meatballs are done. So I'll show them here on camera too. Oops. There we go. Got the tongs. There we go. And you know I had to. There it is. Let's see if we can see it without destroying it. There they are. So we're going to go ahead and drop them in here to let them. We're going to cover them and let them simmer for about 30 minutes. Really get those juices going. So in the meantime, hey, listen, I want to share with you, if you need to watch something between the games or listen to something between the games, and I know most of the smart TVs have the YouTube app, why don't you watch my brother, well, after watching this show, watch my brother's show and my sister-in-law's show, Talking Shenanigans, and it's like right here, and watch it. It's a great show, a weekly show. I think they're kind of scaling back a little bit. They used to be twice a week, but I don't know, maybe they could just be playing a trick on all of us. But watch it. It's a great show. It talks about a little bit of everything. Current events, nonsense, stuff on the Twitterverse, stuff on the YouTube, who to watch, what to watch, and what else? They talk about the scripted reality shows and a little bit of everything, and I can't wait to hear my sister-in-law's take on the whole Kardashian thing. Yeah, I know, I swore I never would say that word, but the only time I'm saying that is because they are finally going off the air. Woo, raise up. That's right. So we'll see who does what next, what video comes out next, because, they can only remain irrelevant for so long. Then after that, all bets are off. But, hey, that's just me. But I really want to hear what she has to say about that as part of the show, because they do talk about some things related to that show. So I think it's kind of interesting that it got decided to come to an end after the one of them got discovered that she was not a billionaire, that they had been forging, or they presented some wrong, erroneous documents and were misleading people that they were that one individual was a billionaire. So there we go. We got them all in there. So either way, watch it. It's called Talking Shenanigans. It's a weekly talk show. My brother, his wife, my sister-in-law, they're awesome. A lot of fun. And again, watch it or else. All right. So we've got all the meatballs there now. And I mean it, or else. All right. Because I've done it before. I'll do it again. All righty. So now it's a Dutch oven. So this thing is heavy. So here it is. And we're going to put the lid on. We turn the heat down to just above 1. Maybe I need to pick it up just a little bit. And there we go, about 1.5. All right, now, so what we're going to do, here it is. We're going to let it simmer for 20, 30 minutes. Echo, give me a 20-minute timer.
20 minutes, starting now.
There we go. All right, so with that being said, we're going to stir occasionally throughout that time. All righty. All right, we're at the end of the 20 minutes that we asked for it to simmer, and did a little taste testing while we stirred. I stirred at 14 minutes, and then at 6 minutes out, I stirred and was tasting it. It was a little sweet. Again, we had that brown sugar, we had all that tomato, so again, and ketchup, so all that sweetness was already there. So I just threw in a little Tabasco, and I think we need to resupply Tabasco. So again, infantry guys, anybody that ever went to the field in the military, you know what I'm talking about when it comes to Tabasco. It's essential. It's mission essential equipment. So that being said, now let's go ahead and do what I said we were going to do in the last episode. Now, next episode, it's already planned. It's in the can. We cannot do anything about the next episode. But I will not be able to do what we're about to do, and that's to pick. We have all your suggestions here in the individual 3x5 cards, and you're going to pick or you're going to hold. Okay, you're going to pick. So I'm going to fan them out. I've already shuffled them, and Mrs. This Vet Cooks has not seen them. And what's going to happen is she's going to pick one. And that's going to be the rest of the one we're going to work on the next show. Okay, so here it is. And she's picking one. She's now picked one. And now she's handed me one. Here it is. Ready? Bomb-ass mashed potatoes by, I want to say it was Talking Shenanigans. Talking Shenanigans. Bomb-ass mashed potatoes. So that's what we're going to be doing on the next show. So not the one that's coming up, but the one after. The next one is a special one. But, I'll give you a hint. We're going to be outside again. So, bomb-ass mashed potatoes. I told you we're going to be incorporating all your suggestions. So if you have other future suggestions, by all means, roll them in. Now, this is going to be the first one. And what happens now is all your other suggestions, those of you that did not get selected this time, which was the big... Echoes, stop! It was the baked cheesy mac and cheese, fish tacos, lettuce wraps, and German potato salad. Well, those didn't make it, but they're going to go we're going to put it in something with all the other ones. And then at the end of every show, we're going to be picking next week's recipe. So again, thank you for playing along. Don't forget to submit your suggestions on the website, on the YouTube, wherever. So again, we're looking forward to bomb-ass mashed potatoes. So we'll go from there. Alrighty, so there it is. You heard it. The time has stopped. We're done with that. So let's get set up here so we can take this stuff out. Alrighty, hey, listen. It is Suicide Awareness Month, Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And again, for those of you, make that call, 1-800-273-8255. That's the Veterans Crisis Line, 1-800-273-TALK, 1-800-273-8255. Listen, you're hurting, you need to talk to somebody, you just got to get something off your chest and it's starting to feel heavy on you. By all means, reach out, make the call. There's nothing wrong with making the call. Folks, definitely, people care about you. I care about you. I wouldn't be saying this if I didn't care, if it didn't matter to me. So again, make that call, 1-800-273-8255. When the automated attendant answers, press the 1. It'll take you to where you need to be. They'll talk to you. They'll work with you and, get a new battle plan all laid out. You never know. So make the call. You make the call. That's when you'll know. Alrighty. So with that being said, just make the call. All right, everybody. Well, here we are. We're done here on camera 2. There they are. The beer braised meatballs again. Some beer, 12 ounces of beer, a whole can of beer in a Dutch oven. You can't go wrong with that right off the bat. The meatballs, fantastic, real easy. So let's go ahead and dive in. There it is. Oh my goodness. Yep. I'm sorry, I cannot let my family eat this horrific mess. It is terrible. They were not allowed to eat this. I'll have to dispose of this properly. No, seriously, it is fantastic. I really liked it. I went with the with that local buzz, the Honey-Rye ale. Wow, from the Four Corners Brewing Company out of Dallas, Texas. Again, not an ad, not a paid promotion, but damn, that stuff is good. It really shows. It really comes out. I thought about, I might need to go get some Long Star because I drank it all. It was all gone. But I had that can left, and I guess I had it left for a reason. Folks, this thing's fantastic. Again, real simple. It took us about an hour recording the whole 9 yards and everything. Great. It's quick. It's easy. Go plop yourself down. Go watch some football. Go Texans. Go Green Bay. And go Kansas City. And that's it. We're not going to go any further because across on the other side, Mrs. This Vet Cooks, born in Kansas City. So, I got to give my props. Otherwise, you know how it goes, folks. Listen, thank you for watching again. Be sure you follow on Twitter at This Vet Cooks, on Instagram, This Vet Cooks, on Facebook, facebook.com/This Vet Cooks. Visit the website, This Vet Cooks. Everyone, I'm Dave Guerra, This Vet Cooks.